morning, and thank you all for being here today for the 2024 Interfaith Community Services Annual Meeting. It's such a pleasure to have you all here today. My name is Mitchell Snow. I am the Faith Liaison for Interfaith Community Services, and before we get started today, I'm going to be opening us up with a word of prayer. So if you'll all bow with me. God, we thank you for this time that we have in this space where we recognize all of the partners that are a part of the amazing work that's being done to support this community. We pray that you bless this time, bless our conversations, and let them be enriching to those who are present. We pray all this in the spirit of all that is holy. Amen. All right, once again, I'd like to welcome you to our 45th annual meeting. We're now 45 years young as an agency. It's 45 years that wouldn't be possible without the partners that we have in this room and the partners that will hopefully continue to grow during the next 45 years that we have ahead of us. It's a privilege to be here today with so many individuals and organizations and community partners that make this work possible by building a stronger and more compassionate community. 45 years ago, Interfaith Community Services was founded by 14 faith communities of different religions and denominations who came together and realized they could do more to support the community by working together than we could ever do apart. And Interfaith has been founded on partnerships ever since. Those partnerships are a big part of why we are able to continue to do the valuable work that we do to support this community. The founding of this organization is a testament to the power of people of diverse backgrounds coming together to do good, to create real, lasting change. I feel blessed to have been a part of this change for the past 25 years, since I was a volunteer at around 9 years old. And now I turn that into a job as the faith liaison. So if you're a volunteer now, just wait, we might pay you someday. But none of this would be possible without visionary leadership. So as we celebrate the incredible 45-year trajectory of Interfaith Community Services, it's now my pleasure to introduce two people who have been instrumental in guiding our present mission and work, our CEO, Greg Angel, and our board chair, Dr. Kadri Webb.
Good morning, everyone. Nice to see you all, and thank you, Mitchell. I am so grateful for all that you do and for how you have supported us for so many years. We know you are not 9 years old anymore. As we celebrate 45 years of service at Interfaith Community Services today, I am filled with both pride and gratitude. Pride for the incredible impact that we've made and gratitude for the foundation laid by those who came before us. People who 45 years ago dreamed of a better community, one where faith, compassion, and action came together to uplift those in need. From one employee in 1979 to 265 today. We stand on the shoulders of those who built this organization and made such a difference. They believed in the power of community. And because of their belief, we have been able to carry their mission forward. We need to carry that mission forward to evolve, to expand, and to meet the growing needs of the people that we serve. And yet, as we look back on this remarkable journey, we must also acknowledge that there are some tremendous and immense challenges that we still are facing.
One of the biggest challenges facing our community is homelessness. And unfortunately, it's a problem that is increasing in impact and numbers. We know from the Regional Task Force on Homelessness, who tracks this data, that for every 10 people regionally who overcome homelessness, 16 people are falling into homelessness for the very first time. Looking back last year, throughout the entire county of San Diego, more than 26,000 people experienced homelessness and sought to overcome homelessness through programs and services like you all provide through Interfaith Community Services. 26,000 people. That's a staggering figure. That's nearly 1% of our entire population in the county. Think about that. Nearly 1% of our population experiencing homelessness and working to improve their situation. Well, at Interfaith, those are not just statistics, those are calls to action. And through Interfaith Community Services, you helped more than 20,000 unique individuals this last year. These are our neighbors. These are families, veterans, seniors, members of our community who you provided support to through more than 75 different programs to help people move forward in their lives. And when we think about homelessness, when we think about that big figure, well, you actually helped 1,093 people move out of homelessness and into permanent housing of their own. 1,093. And when we think about that figure, for every 10 people overcoming homeless, we have a larger number falling into it. Well, you're addressing that too, because last year you prevented nearly 1,500 individuals from ever having the trauma of experiencing homelessness. You did that through rental assistance to keep them housed and case management to make sure that that intervention was impactful in a long-term way. These statistics are not just positive outcomes. Their lives changed and saved and impacted. Thank you for your support.
As we reflect on these accomplishments, we know that one thing is for certain, that all of those statistics, all of those numbers that you heard that Greg just shared are not possible without you. They're possible only through partnerships. And so the success of Interfaith is built on collaborations with people and with organizations who share our vision for a more just and equitable society. We've got a plethora of diverse partners, faith communities, businesses, government agencies, volunteers, donors, all who come together in the spirit of collaboration to address the so many tremendous challenges and complex challenges that we have today. Partners like ones that you see on the screen behind me have been critical to our growth and our ability to serve and create a more vibrant community. And it's through these collaborations that we are able to provide so many services such as post-hospitalization care, emergency shelter, on-the-job training, case management, and so much more.
For more than 45 years, Interfaith Community Services has worked closely with our faith community partners, with all the partners that Dr. Webb just listed, as well as our local cities. Interfaith is based and started here in Escondido, but we're fortunate to have locations throughout North San Diego County, and we work very closely with all 8 North County cities. We're fortunate today to be joined by 4 elected leaders who are going to come up on stage now and actually be a part of a roundtable discussion about the theme of this year's meeting, partnerships. What do partnerships mean, and what are the impact of partnerships? So I'd like to call up to stage to join us now, Mayor of San Marcos, Rebecca Jones. Councilmember, City of Oceanside, Eric Joyce. City of Carlsbad Mayor Pro-Tem, Priya Bhat-Patel. And here from our City of Escondido, Escondido Mayor Dane White. We've prepared questions specific to each elected leader around each of the partnerships within your cities, and we'll start with you, Dr. Webb.
Sure. So my first question is for Councilmember Eric Joyce. Shout out to the Oceanside folks. I lead a church in Oceanside, so I got to give that shout out to one of our council members, Councilmember Joyce. A few months ago, Oceanside and Carlsbad jointly received an $11.4 million grant from the state through a program called the Encampment Resolution Fund. The goal is to move unsheltered people currently living in encampments into shelter, treatment, and permanent housing. Could you share with us how you aim to tackle this and how Interfaith will be partnering with you on this project?
Thank you so much. First, I just want to say thank you to the Interfaith team for inviting us. It's so good to be around folks that I see doing the work in our community. It feels like we're family, and Oceanside is so integrated with what Interfaith does, and we're so thankful to be part of what you do. So the encampment resolution funding is an exciting partnership. And what I'm most excited about is that we have a chance to show what happens when you fully fund a program that supports the continuum of care and is addressing the whole person needs. So our outreach workers are going to be focused on a specific area where individuals have been in encampments for a long period of time. And it's between our two cities. It's a partnership, like every single homelessness initiative should be, a partnership between our cities, because believe it or not, people don't just stop at the border and start becoming homeless in Oceanside when they weren't in Carlsbad. We have got to be on the same page working together. So this is an amazing idea. It has outreach, crisis stabilization, harm reduction, and then what is absolutely necessary is the housing navigation on the back end. And it fully funds this project at $11 million, more than $11 million. And there are a couple of takeaways. One is it's expensive. When people have been living in these spaces for so long, it's hard to get them out. It takes a lot of resource and human resources. And what we're going to show is that when you put the money into the experts, like the folks that work here at Interfaith and our other partners that know how to do the work, that we can actually get really big things done. It's really common in the social space within government, and I know I'm speaking to the choir here, but we have these great ideas, and then someone comes along and starts cutting the funding, and it won't be long before the next person comes along and says, this was actually a terrible idea because look, it's not working because it's underfunded. Housing First is an idea that actually works when you do it the right way. Investing in people who know what they're doing to make real connections with folks that are ready to get off the street, that really are looking for the care that they deserve as human beings. I'm really excited about that partnership that we have with Carlsbad, and we're going to be relying on Interfaith to do what they do best. Thank you.
Mayor Pro-Tem Bhat-Patel, as Councilmember Joyce shared, the City of Carlsbad is a partner with Oceanside on that grant. The city has also partnered with Interfaith Community Services through our homeless outreach team for a number of years. Can you share what has the impact been of homeless outreach teams in the City of Carlsbad?
Yeah, and thank you. And I also want to thank everyone for being here, and of course Interfaith for convening us and bringing us all together. So my background's in public health, and I have to say that, you know, being able to see the amazing work that Interfaith does, and of course our team at the City of Carlsbad does, is just always truly inspirational. With regards to the homeless outreach team, so we've seen a lot of great work coming out of that team. In 2017, we partnered with Interfaith to make sure that we had all of the different needs met. Again, like I said, with that public health piece, for me, that behavioral health component is so important. And also just being able to make sure that we're getting those wraparound services to folks within our community. And so one of the things that we've seen is just that rapport building that's been really important within our community, just being able to connect with folks and meet them where they're at. I know that's been such a critical component of having that team on the ground. And then of course, being able to provide that almost like just a partner for our team, because of course when our homeless outreach team, we had our officers on the ground, and having social workers be there with the officers is so critical, because those social workers have gotten the training to make sure that they know how to interact with folks on the ground in conjunction with the officers that are there. And so I think that that really helps, especially in times where there is a critical need and you're meeting someone at a critical moment. Being able to have somebody that can really connect with someone, figure out what they need in that situation, I think is something that we've noticed. And I know I've noticed it when I've gone out and we've done interactions with folks. It really makes a huge difference. And so I think that's been something that I've noticed from that partnership.
Councilmember Joyce, you were also a leading force during our asylum seeker response. There were several asylum seekers who were left in Oceanside in the fall of last year. Hundreds were dropped off at the Oceanside Transit Center. You were out there day and night working with the city and with Interfaith on a response, among others, some who are in this room today, to really help them to get where they needed to go. So what did you learn from that boots on the ground experience, and how did that change your work, or does that inform your work as a local leader?
Thanks for the question. That experience was extremely informative for me as a human, as a leader in the community. We had the privilege to helping people who were at the end of a very long journey, a journey that many of our ancestors in this room have taken to this country looking for a better life. And at the very end of that journey, we had the privilege, and we were also compelled to step in so that folks weren't being left on our street. What I learned from that is, one, when you have things like this going on in our communities, there are always going to be people who get up on a pedestal and point to it and demonize it and find ways to use it to drive us apart. And the second thing I learned is that there's always going to be people there from our city to help too. And you can choose to focus on one or the other. I met some amazing helpers, many of whom I got to embrace this morning as I walked through the doors. Many of them were wearing Interfaith tags. And I have such pride in the work that I saw them do on a day-to-day basis when they were being demonized, when they were doing just what we're all called to do, which is serve our common brothers and sisters. So I learned a lot.
Mayor White, the City of Escondido Council this summer unanimously approved a $50,000 grant to Interfaith Community Services focused on homeless prevention for seniors. Seniors are the fastest growing population of people experiencing homelessness and have a lot of vulnerabilities. Thank you for the support. Thank you for that grant. We'd love to hear from your perspective what more we can do together to address and reduce homelessness among seniors.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for inviting me to this. Thanks for allowing me to be here. Yeah, those grants are critical. One of the things that concerns me most, specifically in this city with homelessness and seniors, is our population here in this city is aging faster than most other cities in the county. And so you keep seeing those numbers go up and up and up. Those grants are a fantastic way to temporarily keep people from falling into homelessness. But one of the other things that we need to be doing, and the city is currently in the process of, is looking for more affordable housing opportunities specifically for seniors. And I think that that's where we have an opportunity to partner. Just last week, our Economic Development Subcommittee, of which I'm on, we reviewed a whole list of the available cities that the property owns that are available to sell for the purpose of beginning to go through the surplus lands process and hopefully offer it up to senior affordable housing development.
Hello, Mayor Jones. We didn't forget about you. It's good to see you today. She's been sitting here so patiently waiting for a question. Interfaith is already providing a wide array of services: food, shelter, employment, rehab, rental assistance to San Marcos populations. How do you think that Interfaith and San Marcos can continue to expand these services?
Well, for us in San Marcos, one of the things that we've been very intentional about is our affordable housing. So we have about 3,300 units in our city, which is about 10% of our housing stock, so there's a lot of that. But Greg and I have had a lot of discussion over the years of what else can we do and how can we work better together. So San Marcos has put about $125,000 every year for several years into our homeless outreach and services and help toward the North County affordable or housing homeless assistance. So one of the things that Greg and I have talked about specifically is how can we continue to help people that are really becoming, on the edge of becoming homeless. And I think that's one of the biggest issues that we've had. We provide so many services to our seniors, but also just our folks in general that are in need of help. And, unfortunately, that delta's gotten larger. There are a lot of people that are on the cusp of becoming homeless or are, unfortunately on our streets. So we continue to invest with our CDBG funds, but we're always looking for ways to provide more monies because, unfortunately, like I said, we all see it, we all know our homeless population has gotten more larger. I actually have my car full right now to take some food over to one of our places, Universidad Popular, where you can actually go and they have a food pantry. So again, just investing in it, finding creative ways which would include, grants and that sort of thing, but continue what we have been doing, which is investing that money every single year as we have, because we don't want more people to be, becoming homeless. And of our 3,300 affordable housing units that we have about 400 more in the pipeline. So that's 400 more families that we'll be able to help.
That's awesome. That is awesome. Mayor Pro-Tem Bhat-Patel, the city of Carlsbad and Interfaith have a longstanding partnership, again thinking about our theme today, partnerships, at our Carlsbad Service Center. The city actually helped Interfaith purchase that location and continues to provide operating support for that center, which is a home base for services for Carlsbad residents. What has the impact of that partnership been, and what do you see in the future for our work together?
Yeah, I think that's a great question. And, going back to making sure that we're meeting folks where they're at, I think this is an example of that. Being able to talk to folks, having obviously the food assistance, housing assistance, employment services, I think that's so critical to making sure that folks are really getting everything that they can in order to be able to make that step forward in a direction that hopefully takes them to a more positive trajectory than they're at. And I think that, what we as a city continue to value is obviously not only that partnership, but what you all have created on the ground there, and just having, again, those folks that are trained professionals that can work with the community and make sure that they have all of the services at hand to be able to make that next step is so important. And I think I know that, and I know all the people in this room know that homelessness is an issue that can't be solved by just one entity. And the partnerships piece is so critical. I think realizing, obviously, Interfaith and the city working together, but the county, the state, the federal government, we really all need to work together to make sure, because homelessness knows no bounds, right? It's something that we have to make sure that we're advocating for, not only within our communities, but beyond.
Mayor White, the city of Escondido and Interfaith have worked through some challenges this year and are partnering together, as we just shared, on homeless prevention. We also are celebrating this month the 1-year anniversary of Interfaith's new family shelter here in Escondido. The city played a crucial role in the opening of that shelter, helping secure, as you mentioned, Mayor Pro-Tem, the partnership from the county, helping secure a county grant to open that family shelter. So as we look at the ways that we're partnering together today, Mayor, and we look ahead, what are the future partnership opportunities that you see between the city and Interfaith?
Yeah, great question. And I want to say, we did go through a bit of a rough patch. And I think due to just an overall lack of communication, I think that started long before I got here. But one of the things that come out of that is, I think, a new, free, open line of communication between me and you specifically, and being able to work through all of that and get to where we are now. And where we are now is trying to get a permit through for more beds, shelter beds available for the purpose of detox, which I think is a huge need everywhere in the county, but that's one of the biggest struggles here in Escondido. You know, I think that there's, in the homeless population, there is a large number of people who, if they could just get into sobering services, that would get them started on the path to success. That's exactly what happened to me. But we just don't have the capacity available. So making sure that we can get that done in time and get those beds open in Escondido. But I think another opportunity is, again, going back to economic development and the properties. One of the other things we're doing with that list is identifying a location for a shelter to open in the city of Escondido. And, you know, having the service provider that's already familiar with the landscape and is already a partner with us on that totally makes sense. So, yeah, thank you.
All right, to our elected leaders, you made it through the preset questions. Good job. And you did it quickly, too. I've always joked I'm a preacher's kid, so it's like if you get 4 clergy in a row, you want the first one to be really quick. Otherwise, it's going to...
Watch out now, Greg. Watch out now.
You all worked through a number of really complex issues, so thank you for sharing today. Before we wrap up our discussion, is there anything else around partnerships, anything else that you want to share about the ways that we work together?
So this is my 18th year in office, believe it or not. So I've seen a lot of change over the years. I think, you know, we talk about collaboration all the time, but I've seen the difference and the change in how we really have evolved. And, you know, unfortunately, you're not going to believe this. No, I'm just kidding. Government doesn't do everything well. And so we do rely on having great partnerships, having people that are out doing the work like yourselves. And, you know, thank you for having me today, because to see each one of you out there today, I know each one of you does contribute in a different way. And, you know, it doesn't just happen with one person or 2 people doing the work. You guys are doing the work, and that is huge, because people like me, we rely on that. We rely on people all having their part and working together. And if we don't have that, we certainly can't get anything done. So, you know, in my city specifically, I've seen so many changes, but a lot of really good things that have happened. And so, you know, thank you for each one of you. We do need to work together. And, you know, I tell people all the time, this is really important. We should be kind to one another. We're all different, and that's a really important part of a community. Having everyone that has a difference of opinion, but setting those differences aside and working together for the good of the community. So anyway, thank you for your contributions.
And building off of what Mayor Jones just said, I think it's so important for us, you know, to realize that it's not just I or you, it's always the community and us. And I think that's so important to realize. The compassion piece that comes out of the work that you all do as volunteers and Interfaith does is so critical to making sure that we're meeting folks when we're seeing folks out struggling. And I think that that's something that I know that our team at the City of Carlsbad works day in and day out to provide really amazing services, and the same goes for Interfaith. And I just have to say that, you know, just breaking down that wall, being able to connect with someone, being able to, again, meet them where they're at, really ensures that we're able to get them in that positive direction. And so I just want to say I'm glad to hear, you know, my colleagues talking about that compassion, making sure that we're connecting with people, because a lot of that's being lost in our world. And I think it's so critical that we as community leaders, as volunteers, as advocates are doing everything to maintain that. I have a 3-year-old. I do hope that he continues to see a compassionate world, because it's truly critical to our future. So thank you again for all that you all do. And I know that we'll be continuing to see the great work that you all accomplish. Thanks.
just add one thing, and it connects really well with what we just heard. I think we're seeing in this moment right now a very pervasive idea about nativism. Nativism to our country, nativism to California, or even our cities by cities. Here in North County, we have such a unique situation compared to South County, San Diego, where we have very independent communities that like to do things on their own. That can often cause us to fail. And when we're failing in this work, we're failing people, and people die. And you know that. So I call, and I promise, first I'll promise to do it, then I'll ask you also to do it. So much of the work of fueling this work, yes, fundraising is really important, but also pushing and keeping the mindset moving forward that we are in this together and that we see our success inextricably intertwined with San Marcos, with Escondido, with Carlsbad even. I love it. We're in this together. And it doesn't, San Marcos as well, of course. We're in this together. And that's a message that people need to hear from you. And we got to push back at that idea at every turn, whether it's around the water cooler, because right now people are hurting and they are vulnerable to protecting what they have because it's a scary time. And that causes it to get worse. We've got to open up and work on this thing together because that's the only way we're going to get through.
Well, thank you. Thank you for demonstrating that work together. Thank you all for being here. Most of all, thank you for the partnerships. And can we give one more round of applause to our elected leaders for joining us? And now I'm honored to introduce our Chief Program Officer, Felipe Rios, who oversees all of the 75 programs and services, and she's going to share a little bit about some of the accomplishments that you supported this last year.
Thank you, Greg. It has been quite an amazing journey this year, marked in progress, growth, and service to our community. As you heard before, we're very proud to share that we've provided essential services to over 20,000 unique individuals this year. This year, we've also opened up our first low-barrier family shelter, and we are now expanding much-needed detox beds in our community. At Interfaith, we're guided by 5 pillars: supportive services, clinical and behavioral health, employment and economic development, recovery and wellness, and housing services. And as we grow, we are challenged with a lack of behavioral health workers in our community. San Diego is about 8,000 workers short of meeting the needs of its community. In response to this, we've been really, really lucky to have partnered with Price Philanthropies and the County of San Diego, securing $3.5 million to land our behavioral health workforce development program and create the county's first Center for Excellence. Interfaith created a robust training program to help develop our behavioral health professionals from within. The initiative provides training and paid scholarships to dedicated Interfaith staff who then share their expertise with our clients. Please take a look at the screen behind me and give a round of applause to these dedicated individuals. Finally, we are also celebrating the 1-year anniversary of our family shelter. To tell you more about its impact, please welcome Jeremiah Bellamy, our amazing family shelter program manager, to the stand.
Thank you for that introduction, Felipa. So today I want to share a glimpse into my experience as a program manager. Every day I get to witness the profound impact that our services have on the individuals that we serve. One of the most powerful changes I've seen is in the eyes of the children. When the children first arrive, there's often a deep sense of dread and uncertainty. But over time, that fear gives way to hope. It's a subtle reminder that with support and care, we can help them reclaim their futures. In our first year, we've had the privilege of assisting 44 families into achieving their goal of getting back into housing stability. But yet in that same year, another 192 families have contacted us searching for services, specifically in dire need of shelter. This translates to over 640 individuals, mostly women and children. Each of these family stories is a testament to the resiliency of them and the possibility of a better tomorrow. As we continue this vital work, I invite each of you to join us. Together, we can make a difference and work to end family homelessness, one family at a time. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Jeremiah. And one great example of how we are ending family homelessness, one family at a time, is the example that we're about to share with you. It's not every day that I get the opportunity to introduce a true hero, or a shero. But today I am extremely proud to do so. Every day, each and every one of us walks past other people who we, for whatever reason, ignore. Perhaps it's the way they're dressed, the type of car that we see them driving, or maybe it's the fact that they're unsheltered, so it's their housing status. We often fail to see the value in them. However, these individuals are human, and despite their current circumstances, deserving of just as much respect and dignity as any one of us. In fact, in many cases, those things, respect and dignity, are all any of us need to both embrace and further engage in our respective journeys to be the best versions of ourselves. This was the reality for one of our clients, Shayna. In many ways, her story is symbolic of Interfaith's long-standing approach and commitment to humanizing those that we serve. Interfaith staff connects and supports clients so that they can not only survive, but they can thrive in society. Ultimately, it's stories like hers that demonstrate our history and the history of working together as one to solve the issues that we're facing in our society. Roll the video, Daniel.
My name's Shayna. I've had a pretty tough bring up as a child. Got into drugs and alcohol at the age of 15, and I had my first child at the age of 17, and it led me to continue on with this bad cycle, this bad life. COVID came, and then I had lost my job, and then I had gotten pregnant with my third child. It seemed like it was okay, but it was right after I had her, we had gotten COVID. And that's when my life went spiraling down. I got really bad on drugs, and I didn't think anything of it. I just kept going, and I started losing everything that was important to me. And then I was in my car. I would stay parked in the Vista Transit Center. I would park there days. I would try calling everyone I knew, but everyone got tired of my crap. Next thing you know, I'm getting a phone call, and it's from Interfaith. And Interfaith is so gentle. This woman was so gentle to me. It felt good just to talk to somebody. So when they called me, I was just like, yeah, well, stay on the phone with me as long as you can. she calls me and she says, all right, Sheena, it's time to start looking for a place. It was just like the call I'd been waiting for. She said, it's time, we're approved. And my heart just sunk. I was like, no way, no way. That whole year of hard work, realizing like, man, my kids need me, and now they're with me. It's an amazing feeling, just because, like, gosh, I never thought I could do it. I didn't think I could do it. I didn't think I would be where I'm at now, you know, and I have so much to thank Interfaith for believing in me, for always giving me words of encouragement, and for always giving me hope and always making me feel like I can do the next thing. It was like one thing after another. I just want to keep doing more. I want to keep going the extra mile. I want to advocate for them, and I want to give back. For all the things that they've done for me, I just want to pay it forward.
Please welcome Shayna Valdivinos to the stage. Thank you, Shayna. Thank you for sharing your story with us. Your story is truly inspiring. Shayna, as I watch the video, and I've talked to you a little bit, and I think of all the challenges that you've faced, challenges which many of us can identify with. Perhaps we've dealt with them ourselves, or we've seen our loved ones or friends impacted. I think about the tremendous amount of strength, resilience that you've demonstrated throughout your journey. Can you tell me where that comes from?
Hi, everyone. So that strength, it comes from God. I'm up here to not only be a testimony for Interfaith, but I also have to say it's to God. I thank God for my salvation and for pulling me out of my darkness. Without him, I wouldn't be here. So, God.
Thank you. Thank you, Shayna. Shayna, can you talk about what you're doing today and how your relationship with your case manager, Teresa, has influenced your approach?
What I'm doing today is something I never thought I'd be. I'm working, I have a car, I had lost my family, and I have them back now. My marriage was gone, and I have that back now. My relationship with my case manager, my gosh, I have so much to thank Teresa Lopez for. She has been absolutely amazing in my life and in this journey with Interfaith. I couldn't have done it without her and her support. I was really lost, and she wasn't just my case manager, but she became my friend, and it was real genuine. I knew it wasn't just, you know, for work or anything like that. It was true. And so our relationship is strong. It's great.
I also want to share today that yesterday when I talked to Shayna, she had just gotten a promotion at work. Do you want to share anything else with everyone, Shayna?
I do. Well, in the beginning, like I said, I met with Teresa for the very first time. I was on a bike coming out of the alley with a cigarette in my hand and sunglasses on, fully clothed. It was cold but hot too. And I was rolling in my bike, meeting her at Northgate in Vista, Northgate Marketplace, and it was hot, and we had nowhere to sit down. There was like nothing. We were in a parking lot, and so we went up to the store and found a place on the sidewalk, and we sat there on that hot sidewalk, and you know, we met there. We met in that place, and you know, I was so lost. I was so broken. I had lost everything that was so important to me. I was living this terrible cycle for so long, broken from the time I was a child to, 3 years ago. And, it's crazy, like, to see where I was then, on a bike, rolling in a bike, had a backpack on with a cigarette, to being where I am now, standing in front of all of you, letting you know that it's possible, that what you guys are doing for people like me, it's amazing, it's great. There are people like me out there that really will pull through and show that we want this. This was hard, this was really hard, but I finally got tired of that life I was living. I got tired of just repeating old cycles, terrible things, bad habits. And, like I said, by the good grace of God, I finally surrendered, and I fought. I fought for myself. I fought for my life. I fought for my children. I fought for everything that meant the world to me. And so, it wouldn't have been possible without Interfaith, without Teresa, without all of you. So please continue doing what you're doing. Please help us, because I'm here.
Thank you, Shayna. I think one of the most important things that Shayna's shared, a lot of times people who are suffering from addiction feel like they're the problem. She has an extreme amount of resilience and strength, and if you had heard her story is truly amazing. Shayna had a lot of things, there was a lot of reasons why she shouldn't have made it, but she made it because she's strong and because someone listened to her and someone cared about her. So together, if we continue to work together and we treat everyone with humanity and compassion, we can change people's lives by just helping and supporting them. That's all they need. One of the people who's done an amazing job of that, I'm so proud of her, and she's one of the amazing staff that we have here at Interfaith Community Services doing direct service, is Teresa Lopez. Can you please stand up? Can all my rockin' case managers stand up to get a round of applause, because you all rock. Stand up, guys, you rock. And Teresa, you rock too. Okay, with all this in mind, I need to hand it back over to Dr. Webb, because he's going to talk about our future, including our One campaign and how we can help more families. Thank you.
Philippa is the preacher, and Philippa is way over time. We have room for spontaneity, but geez, Philippa, you preach longer than I preach. No, but that is fueled by passion and honestly an advocacy that we hope you see and feel that we have for our clients and the people we serve. They are so important, and she does a great job standing behind them and standing beside them, I should say, and making sure that their voices are heard. We are proud to announce that we just received a county grant of $12 million over the next 5 years. And that grant is to expand our current 11-bed detox facility to 32 beds right here in Escondido. This expansion is critical. As you all may know, there's a severe shortage of beds. You heard that when we were having the roundtable with our electeds. We receive more than 40 calls a day often for our current 11-bed detox program. And so our hope is that this expansion will save lives and will strengthen our community. And we are partnering with the County of San Diego and the City of Escondido to bring these new beds online in early 2025. So hopefully in just a few months, we'll see that come to fruition. Additionally, our Transitional Youth Academy which supports high schoolers, is one of our most successful programs. With a proven track record, we have a 100% graduation rate over the past 8 years. We've got case managers who are on campus at schools every day to support at-risk youth emotionally, academically, and financially as they build a solid foundation for graduation and beyond. And we are excited to announce the expansion of this program into Orange Glen High School here in Escondido. With plans to continue that expansion in the future, so we'll not stop there. And finally, we've launched the One campaign inspired by the $5 million grant we were awarded from the Bezos Day One Foundation. The One campaign challenges us to raise an additional $5 million over the next 3 years to end family homelessness in North County, one family at a time. Thanks to the generous support of Jack and Caroline Raymond and other lead contributors, all gifts to this campaign will be matched through the end of the year as we seek to raise an additional $1 million to support families. And we are hoping that you will partner with us in the way that you are able financially today. No gift is too small, but we like for you to partner, and so that we can take advantage of that match. We want to raise an additional $1 million to support families. In fact, in just the last 5 months, we've successfully moved 45 families out of homelessness. I think that deserves a round of applause as well. So please see our tables outside. Our development team does an awesome job of making sure that the information we need is present. So please see and visit those tables outside for more information on the One campaign, and also a model of our brand new donor tree that was just installed in the main lobby of our 550 headquarters right here in Escondido. And with that, I'll turn it back over to Greg.
Thank you, Dr. Webb. As we look forward to these ambitious goals for next year, we want to share that none of this is possible without the people doing the work. That's all of you as supporters. That's the people who work every day at Interfaith Community Services. This last year, we launched a new recognition program to honor our employees who embody our core values of compassion, dignity, accountability, social justice, and unity. We also launched awards to recognize employees leading with amazing service to our clients and to our community. The employees receiving these awards are pictured up on the screen, and I want to call to you the diversity of programs and ways these individuals are putting their talents to work. These are people providing 24/7 support around our basic needs programs. These are individuals helping veterans overcome homelessness. These are individuals helping individuals come into our detox and then successfully graduate out into outpatient treatment, into our Carlsbad housing programs, in so many ways. So can our employees who have received these awards, can you please stand up so we can give you a round of applause? These diversity of teams work together to help people overcome one of the biggest challenges, homelessness, and it's so complicated. The end goal is, of course, for somebody to be able to make it a home, to have a home of their own. So many of you are a part of that last step in someone's, or not last, important step in someone's journey. We wanted to share a little bit more about it with you today.
When Amelia first came into Interfaith, she had no idea where to start. It turns out she was actually living in a garage with her husband and her 2 adult disabled children.
Porque mi esposo solamente trabajaba, yo no podía trabajar por cuidar a los niños porque tengo 2 niños con discapacidad, entonces tendría que dedicarme solamente a ellos.
One of the main barriers that Amelia was facing was proving her income. Because she wasn't able to work, it was just her husband. So there's only one income that they were relying on. She didn't know that there was any resource out there that can help her get out of the situation that she was in. through case management. One of the first things that we started working on is how can we get her to prove on paper that she has income, and how can we increase that income. She was able to apply for disability for both her children and was approved. We also provide move-in costs for our client. So that is, it could be either through deposit, first month's rent, or both. In this case, we were able to provide both for our client so that she could have a peace of mind when moving into her first apartment, because I know it's a really big step for them.
Interfaith no solamente nos ayudó con buscar esta vivienda, vino su equipo, el equipo de Interfaith, para amueblarnos nuestra casa. Lo que no nos esperábamos era también esa ayuda. Entonces vinieron y como pudieron, subieron todos los muebles hasta el segundo piso.
She was actually selected to receive a unit, and not just any unit. She was selected to receive a 3-bedroom unit.
Ya cuando vine y abrí la puerta, pues wow, fue una sorpresa muy grande al ver que no teníamos que empezar a comprar una mesa, una olla o una cama, sino que ya teníamos todo también gracias a Interfaith.
She and her family were among 456 people who you helped move in to a new home this last year and fully furnish it through the Make It a Home program. Thank you to our volunteers who do this work, to all of you who donate the household furnishings that help make an empty apartment a home. Thank you to our teams who do this work. We have just moved into a new donation center here in Escondido where we're able to provide even more of the items that individuals and families need when they're moving into a new home of their own. So we want to share and lift up this partnership, this ultimate partnership of working together to help individuals and families. I mentioned 456 people. That included 156 children, 38 veterans. Amazing. I have all the numbers, sorry. 1,500 volunteers. 1,500 volunteers. That's so many. I'd like everyone here today who has volunteered at Interfaith Community Services, please stand so we can share our appreciation with you. Interfaith honors provides a Lifetime Achievement Award to one individual or one family every year. We call it the Sami Award. It's named in honor of a former board member, Sami London Marcus, who embodied Interfaith's commitment to helping people help themselves. And this year we are really honored to honor not just one individual, but two. We're here to honor Jim Randall and Dr. Ron Chisholm. Jim is a retired Air Force and Continental Airlines pilot. I know him as the guy who's been bringing bread to our food pantry every single week since before I started at Interfaith, which was nearly 20 years ago. Jim and his partner in good, Dr. Ron, who moved out of the community a couple years ago, but Jim wouldn't let us honor just him. We had to honor both. Jim and Ron are mainstays, and Jim is at Interfaith multiple days every week, and his family has supported him to do this work day after day, week after week, for nearly 20 years. He brings hundreds and hundreds of loaves of bread to Interfaith every single week. Make sure that none of the bread gets smushed. Something I can learn from. My wife can tell you. I haven't mastered that one yet. But Jim, your dedication, your commitment really embodies what Interfaith Community Services is about. So thank you, sir, and please, we'd like to share this award with you today. Before I turn it over to Dr. Webb to close out our meeting, I just want to share my thanks and my appreciation with all of you. Today is about partnership. And partnership, you may think of it as a noun. I don't buy it. It's an action. Partnership is being here, right? Partnership is showing up. Partnership is speaking out. Partnership is supporting our neighbors, is being there as a partner. You all do that every single day. We're so excited about the ways we have moving forward. We've talked a lot about challenges today. There are so many challenges. But look around you. You're a part of addressing those challenges and making our world a better place, one person at a time. So I want to thank you. I'm going to turn it over to my partner, Dr. Webb, leadership in this organization, and he's going to share about our leading partners, our board, and close us out today. Thank you, Dr. Webb.
We're coming down the home stretch, and I'd just like to take a moment to recognize my colleagues on the board, individuals from our community who I am privileged to work with month in and month out, who volunteer their time, their expertise, both professional and personal, to help us to build our important community partnerships. It is with deep gratitude that we salute our outgoing board members, those who have moved on, who have served with dedication and service, and those persons are John Byers and Monica Thornton. Could we give them a hand? And we are also excited to welcome our newest board member, and we're going to ask that he use his passion and leadership to move us forward. Colonel Carlos T. Jackson is already standing. Would you raise your hand so that everyone can see who you are, sir? And I'd also like for my fellow colleagues, all the remaining members of the board, both new and returning, to please stand as well at this time. Our board of directors is elected by faith community members. They provide governance, leadership, and they ensure that we're not only fulfilling our mission, but that we also continue to innovate and strengthen the ways we work together in diversity to support our clients and the community. This last year, we are pleased to report that our board members personally donated more than 1,000 hours of volunteer service to Interfaith. Can we give a round of applause for the volunteer service? Our work is never done as board members. Those of us who've served longer than one meeting know that. And so we have one item of business that we have to conduct. We need to formally approve the minutes from the 2023 annual meeting. Is there a motion to approve? All right, so moved by Mr. Costantino. I saw first. Is there a second? Seconded by Mr. Miller. Is there any unreadiness? Hearing none, all in favor, board members, could you raise your hands as aye? Those opposed have the same regards. I believe that unanimously carries, and those minutes will stand as approved. Thank you very much. We got to get the business done. As we prepare to, as I say at church, go down from this mountain, I echo the sentiments that Greg shared with us today. Today is all about partnerships. All of the work that we do is built around partnerships. And so I as well thank you for the work that you do and for the partnership that you provide in the work we do. We are excited about what lies ahead, but we need your help. So we want you to continue spreading the word about what we do. We are so grateful for 45 years of partnership. We need all of you to tell our story because we're looking forward to the next 45. I'll look a lot different after 45 more years. I'll be knocking at the door of 90, but tell your friends, tell your neighbors. I hope to be able to, like Mitch, share and think about my time as a younger man here and see the evolution of the organization as it moves forward. So spread the word about our campaign to end family homelessness. Again, information about that campaign and all the services you heard about today are available outside. Please visit us as we leave this place. Please allow me just to take a moment to offer a prayer for the lunch we'll soon enjoy. So let's pray. And I'll give an interfaith prayer that will hopefully cover all of our faith traditions. Gracious God, loving God, thank you for the opportunity to be in this place. And we're grateful for all that we've done to help people. Now, as we enjoy time of fellowship, knit our hearts together as one. Bless the food that we're about to receive. Allow it to nourish and only nourish our bodies. Amen. And just before I turn it back over to Mitchell, he's going to guide us in this endeavor. Guess what, y'all? Today is Greg's birthday. Can we sing happy birthday and then Mitchell's going to give us instructions? Can we do that? Okay, you want to hear my preacher choir voice? All right, Greg, you got to stand up so everybody can sing to you. He's not on the hot seat. This is the good seat. Come on now. Let's go on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Greg. Happy birthday to you.
It's amazing that 25 years ago you came into this world and you're still doing the work today. All right, before we go, we've got some housekeeping items that I want to make sure we cover. We're not Oprah here, so don't expect to find keys under there, but some of you can look under your seats and there will be some swag items. So this is in honor of our 45th anniversary. If you look under your seat, some of you might find hats or shirts that reflect these 45 years. If you don't see one under your chair, don't worry. You can still leave with one. We are actually selling them in the lobby, in our Interfaith Marketplace. If you got something, I want to see you putting it on. I see a hat over there. I'm seeing a hat in the back. This is the closest that I'm ever going to get to being Oprah, so I'm going to just revel in this moment. But now it's actually going to be time for lunch. As we dismiss, just know you're actually going to be able to just turn around and walk straight back to those tables. As you sit down, please have some patience with the team that's going to be bringing out your sandwiches. On your table, you're going to find some cards. The cards on one side say veggie, on the other side, they say turkey. If you want a turkey sandwich, I would recommend not putting veggie the side up. So just be mindful when you sit down. The volunteers are going to be looking for which sandwich you have facing up on your table. So just make sure you get that card facing the right direction. If it takes a little bit of time for that food to come out, don't worry. There's some desserts and some chips that are also on the tables. Or you can take some time to go to our Interfaith Marketplace. You heard from Dr. Webb, there's so many ways that we want to partner with you. There are so many ways that we want you to come alongside this work that we're doing. So please get to know our program staff. They're going to be sitting at those tables. They're also going to be in the lobby. If you're looking to give to support the work that we do, there's an opportunity to do that in the lobby as well. You'll see our giving tree, you'll learn about our One campaign, and you'll also be able to learn about the Sponsor a Family program that we have for the holidays. But we are so grateful for all of you being with us today, and we hope you enjoy the lunch that we have. Thank you, and you are dismissed to the back.